Hola a todos, creo que por fin estoy en directo, pero bueno, es la primera vez que... It's the first time that I do this, so we will see. So, welcome to everybody. We are going to wait just a few minutes because I know that there are more students that are waiting to come. I want to stop. Okay. Okay, so waiting just a few minutes to start this first live stream. Is the first time that I do this online, so we will see if it works or doesn't. If you are there, just grab me and tell me how it is. So if you see this later, I will appreciate if you leave something in the comments. So what I'm going to speak today is about how to draw a face. And I selected this drawing and we are going to start with the step by step, so then you can go with me from the very beginning to the end. So what I did first, you can see here that it's just the skin, but what I did first is just that I did a really rough drawing with a 6B pencil. And what we are going to do is I'm going to show you how to put the photography that you are going to use like a reference close to you, but that is not in your same canvas. So you go here to tools, here at the top, I don't know if you can see properly, and then you go to reference, you click in here, and then it's going to copy exactly the photography that you have or the drawing that you have in here, and of course that's not what you want. So what you do is that you go to image, and then it's going to, you say import image, and then you're going to have all the last photographies that you have done and everything. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to find in here the photography. So is here, this is my drawing, and then I have here the image. Doing a little bit bigger. Can you see how I'm doing it? So then I can use it for the drawing. And can you see that I can just do it bigger, and then I can do better the details, or I can do it smaller. So that's quite handy, and you just touch in here and then you move it, so it's not bothering you much, so it's quite good. And with your drawing, take a look that you can even move it here while you are drawing, or move here. I see that a lot of my students cannot draw like this way, that they just move it this way or the other way, like when they are with a paper. So that's total normal. And then, well, what I normally do with this kind of drawings is that I'm not interested in the drawing so much. Can you see that the drawing is not going to be on the final result? So I don't use so much time in doing a beautiful drawing. I just mark where everything is going to go, and with that I'm more than happy. So for this, you can use even like do some measurements and where to put, like we have in the first and second class, a little bit of ideas on how to do the drawing. You can even, if you don't feel comfortable at first, you can even trace it because you are just learning. Although I normally don't recommend to trace unless it's just to discover where everything goes, but it's better just to make the effort of doing your own drawings. Okay, so for me the drawing is going to be more part of another series that are going to be how to draw, and that is going to be just about drawing, but I'm going to start explaining you how I do this. So this is the first part, and is the most important for me of the face, and it's like if you were putting makeup. So what I'm doing, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to create another layer, and then this layer is going to be under your drawing. And then what I'm doing is I take the lasso tool and I'm going to select where is going to go all the skin colors. like this. And then I'm going to select one of the main colors that is not too dark and is not too light, and I'm going to pop it in here. Can you see that I have the drawing, and that's going to help me a lot. Okay, so now I just get rid of that. And then in this same layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the airbrush and soft airbrush. And then I'm going to select a color that is the lightest that I can see on the drawing, the super lightest. Then I'm going to lower the opacity, and this is like if we were sculpting. It's like if you were doing, there are going to be parts that are going to be with more light and parts that are with less light. So this is what I'm doing now. What I'm doing is I'm creating, sculpting this like if I were doing clay. So I'm just like, I can even do it even bigger. And then I'm putting just this clear color everywhere that I can see. Can you see close to the lips that there is a lot of light in here? So I'm putting that here at the nose and in this part too. So this is, I wanted to do this because when I started doing digital, I was trying to do this like if it were a traditional painting, and it was taking me too much time to do the drawings, like 12 hours to do a drawing like this. And I found that if you create a system and you repeat it, then everything is going to be so much easier. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a darker color. So I'm going to find that kind of brown, and even you can do it in another layer if you want, but there is something good about doing it in the same layer, because then what you can do is that you can blend. Okay, so now I'm doing, it's like if we were putting makeup really. So now what I'm doing is that I'm putting darker in the parts that I see the darker. So I can see that a lot of students, what they do is that they start doing, they put a really basic skin color, and then they start doing the lips or the eyes or the mouth, but they don't give so much importance to the skin, and for me it's really, really important. So it's like the base of what you are doing. So you wanted to have volume and to look realistic, then this is the part that you need to do, unless you prefer other styles. Can you see that? It's like if we are creating a lot of volumes, and I don't mind if I'm doing it a little bit too much, because later I'm going to blend everything. Okay, so now my favorite part, that is like the reds. So I'm going to find a kind of reddish color, pink. Can you see that now I'm putting the pinks in here? And I'm putting it here too. A little bit more pink, and everywhere where you see. So these kind of exercises are really good for improve your observational skills, because you are all the time looking to the original and then trying to copy that. Take a look that I'm trying to do a kind of volume here in the middle for the nose, and then I'm going to start putting a little bit more of different colors. So if you are not happy with the results that you are doing, what you can do is you just touch the blending tool. And this is really nice because I'm going to put it a little bigger. What you are doing is that you are literally blending everything. So I'm just blending and blending. And then with this, it's going to look more realistic because it's so much, it's like everything is softer. You don't need to blend absolutely everything because there are parts that doesn't need to be blended. But you do it like that. And then I go for insist in more layers until I get this result. Can you see that I was putting, even with the same brush, I put a little bit dark, a little bit dark in here. Even I started doing the eyebrows and the eyes, and I just still like the kind of volumes in here. Okay, so I'm going to go for this one so you can see that a little bit more. Of course, here you can just use as much detail as you want. It depends on your illustration. I like to put a lot of attention to the skin. So, and of course you can, this is a work in progress, so you can later do a little bit more work. What I recommend to you is do it in different layers. So at first, one of the things that, because I was losing so much time, it was because I was not using the different layers. I was painting like when I paint on oil painting, that you don't have layers, you just paint everything at the same time. And it's nice and it's fun, but it can be frustrating and you're not using the tools that you have. So I will not recommend to do that. Okay, so can you see that if you take a look to the lips, remember that I told you when we were explaining the lips, like to do like this kind of 2 dots. So you can do that, and because there is a kind of shadow in there, and then you can just melt it a little bit, and it's kind of look good. And I'm going to just melt everything a little bit more. So this drawing took me the original 2 hours, but of course with not having to speak and being concentrated and everything. So if at least you can get the idea on how to do it. Now I'm putting a little bit more of light. The light is in here in the middle and in here. And I quite like this part of the process. It's quite kind of relaxing. Like you can do it like really soft, and it can look like really nice. Well, today is kind of informal, kind of live stream. Like it was just for you to see the system. I will have like to have somebody, because sometimes they put videos but they are really fast, and it's like just take this idea. Of course, every artist do things so different. Oh, I think somebody's writing there. Okay, and look that there is not only pinks, there are some kind of greens in here. So take a look to that there are more different colors than we think. So these ones are kind of green. So the skin has greens and has blues and a lot of other colors. If you take a look in here, this one is a blue. So we're going to put it in here. It's a green, kind of green blue. And of course in this part you don't need to do too much of the detail. I'm going to keep putting darket in there and darket in here and in here. And I'm going to show you a little bit of doing this kind of super dark. So I'm going to do this because when you do the hair, under the hair, we want a kind of quite dark, soft line. So that is going to be in here. I'm putting here the black. I found it quite distracting having to speak and paint at the same time. I'm not used to. I think that with digital I'm more used to just go for it and that's it. Can you see that I'm using exactly the same brush? And I know that I have a lot of students that are super excited about finding new brushes and everything, and it's fine, and they're fun and everything. But really, don't get really obsessed. Don't think that you cannot get your results because you don't have the right brushes. I cannot say the same for kind of I'm going to do this in another layer, the hair. I cannot say the same for eyelashes. I think that maybe for eyelashes it's a good idea to have brushes if you are doing realistic. Okay, so I'm using exactly the same brush, and it's just that I wanted to have everything a little bit good. So can you see that the hair is going to be just like to start like just some blocks? I'm not getting rid of the drawing. I'm going here. And I'm going to do this a little bigger. So normally the normal thing is to do the hair at the end, but I find that sometimes it helps to see the contrast of the colors and everything, to see how it's kind of looking. So just doing a kind of blocks with this. Later we will change the color because they are a little bit more kind of blue. Not that one. And here. And another thing is that you don't need to do exactly that one. Like you can do your own style. I think that so much fun just to use that like inspiration, but change things and do things the way you like. Like, I don't know, for example, this one has the hair a little bit more brown. I think that it's going to need later a little bit of black. So I'm putting here just the hair, and luckily I put it in another layer, so then I can change the color of the hair and everything. I'm going to do just a few kind of flicks so you can see really fast how I was doing that. That with the blues are going to be so much better. Like just putting some blues with a little bit less of opacity, so like this. And later the hair is just that has kind of a lot of detail and some lights and everything, but it's just that you feel kind of happy just with a few kind of fast details and everything. It's just, I don't know, I feel better if I have a few details. All of that ones you can just blur, so we will do that later. Okay, so I'm going to take a look to the eyebrows right now, and I'm going to mark them in another layer that is going to be under the hair. Okay, I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to go doing this. Okay, so I'm putting just this, and normally I do like a layer that is kind of really blur, like this. I'm going to do it in this one. So can you see that that one is so soft? It's quite soft. And then on the top I will do the hair. So it's like something like this, maybe too high, like that. And then I will do the hair on the top. So it's like you are doing now more like the general. So I'm not trying to finish the drawing right now or finish every detail. I'm just doing everything little by little. So I'm putting a little bit of hair in here, like that. And with the same soft one, I'm going to start drawing the eyes. So there's a trick with the eyes when you draw them. The top is going to be always, this line that I'm doing is going to be darker than the one at the bottom of the eyes. So that one is going to look good. So I'm continuing with this. I'm coming in here with the eyes. So, oh, I can see. I can see Oli. Oli, hello. I just see your message now. Do you also use the same brushes when you first started? No, when I started the drawing, I did it with a sketching 6B pencil. So I started just with a 6B, and then the rest I'm doing everything with the airbrushing, soft airbrush. So I'm pretty sure that you can use that once in other digital app. Doesn't need to be Procreate. So yeah, and oh, thank you. I can see that you say the hair already looks amazing. Thank you so much. It's just that I wanted to show that it didn't took as much time, and just with a few things, it can look like really, really nice. Thank you for being there. Hi. Okay, so. Sorry, I was so focused on the drawing that I was not even looking to the messages or anything. I think that will get better. So yeah, I see. Yes. So I'm going for the eyes already. So what I do is that I already do these eyes that, like I explained in other of the classes, these are not realistic ones, okay? So these eyes that I did are really big. Normally they are not as big. But it's just that I was doing like my own kind of version of the photography that is a model. So it's not from, I will put the original photo of the model so you can see the photographer has amazing photos that you can use for your exercises. It's okay, I'm excited to see the progress. Oh, thank you. That's cool. So that was a little bit the idea, because it's like, I think that was what I was missing when I was trying to discover how to do this by myself. And it's like, didn't know how to do the order of how to paint everything. And yeah, so, and oh, Shona, hi. Yay. welcome to the video. I'm so excited. It's the first time that I'm doing this. I'm like a little kid. Like, it's like magic for me. Yeah, Oli says hello too, and yeah, it's like, well, I'm for the ones that has arrived now. I'm just painting this step by step, and don't worry, because the recording is going to be there. And the idea is just that you don't need to do exactly this one. It's more like you can learn about the process, so then you can do your own and know what to do at what moment. Because, like I say, at first, took me a lot of time to get, like, I don't know, like it was taking me forever and ever to do any drawing. And as you all know, that's not really practical. So yeah, it's nice to be like 12-hour painting and everything, but if you have to sell your paintings or you need to work for an editorial or something, you must be fast, because they are not going to pay you for that 12 hours working, unfortunately. So it's better just to improve your process and to work faster. At least that's my experience when I was working doing children's book illustration. Yeah, you have to get that. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just marking the eyes that are quite big, like I say. And like I said, the top always darker, the lines of the top darker, and then the bottom, they have a lot of light. Look, if you just take a look on here, look, the top is really dark, and then the bottom you have a lot of light in here, and then this is kind of blur. So it's like you have everything like kind of missed. And so normally what I do is that I will go a little bit closer and I will start working on the eyes. For me, the most important part are the eyes. So I will do first the skin, maybe do the hair so it's more or less marked where it's going to be, and then I will go to the eyes until I'm happy with the eyes. take a look on something that we normally do wrong when we do things that are from our imagination. That is the idea too of this series, is that you learn how to do faces, then you can create your own characters. Look that this is gray, so it's not the inside of the eye, this part, look, gray, it's not white. So we normally paint that white and it doesn't look good. So look, what I'm doing is that I'm painting that on gray, and then later I will give this a lot of volume and everything, but you need to have that gray. I normally, to be fair, I normally just do one eye and then I go for the other one. But if you have problems with that one eye, it doesn't look like the other one, and you can do them at the same time. I don't know. I do one first and then I finish the other one, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I have that one. And then I'm going to focus on one eye. So I'm going to do this one in here. And can you see that it's not super realistic? I did it on purpose because sometimes I do paintings and then they look up and then they tell me, oh, it's a photograph. And it's like, it's so annoying that it's like, no, it's not a photograph. I've been drawing a lot of time. So, okay, so I'm going to go for some lighting. This is my favorite part of doing the eyes, and it's like everything that you paint, take a look because it's not as light as you think. The only thing that is going to be light in here are going to be the shiny parts on the top of the eye. So I'm going just for dark here at the top and here. And another thing that I always explain, that is another thing that you can do always when you are doing your eyes, is that there is always a shadow on the top of the eye. There is a shadow. So I will work with that now. I'm going to start painting the eye, just the colors in here. And you can start with a base and then later start putting other colors. And I just adore doing eyes. It's like, it's my favorite part. Like, I think that they communicate a lot and they are super strong. I don't know, I love it. Okay, so I'm continue doing like this kind of circle, and it's annoying me a lot the lines of the original drawing. Can you see that I have kept that lines? I'm going to go and I'm going to erase them. Not erase them, I'm going to hide them. So it's like bye. Can you see that this has volumes already? That's what we wanted. Nah, I'm going to leave them in there. Okay, so now this is super flat. I'm going to just put a few lights more, and a few marks. So I'm trying to create volumes in here. And can you see that the top is really, really dark and has greens? So we have greens in here. I'm going to go here. So I'm going to put a lot of green, even yellow. Can you see there? There is a yellow color in here. Well, that's another thing that I normally do. There is just, I put a lot of color, and I think that it looks good at the end, so it's fine. And I'm going to start putting shadows. Can you see that these eyebrows are too much? So I will just melt that a little bit. Okay, sometimes it's good just to do it like how it looks far away. So yeah, I'm so excited that I've been seeing a lot of work of a lot of students. I can see. I'm sorry that I can't stay long. I'll rewatch the stream when I'm free. Yes. Happy painting. Love from Java. Bye, Oli. Enjoy a lot. I know that you are seeing your boyfriend soon, and you are taking a few days off from social media and everything. So enjoy your holidays. I will see you soon. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this. And like I said, of course, this is going to be a little bit longer. I'm going to do some part today, some part another day. But yeah, you can install all of it and you can watch it later. It's totally fine. So This is a lot about observation and a lot about adding colors and everything, and mixing and blending. Like you can always come here and blend. I love the blending tool. Like you can just mix that. Oli says thank you so much. Enjoy your days as well. Bye. Bye. Shona says bye. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with here. I'm so excited because it's like a lot of people from different countries watching this. It's like, I don't know, for me it's like magic, really. It's like, and and this is just starting. Like we will have people from more of other places. I think that in this one I was like a little bit more like, well, I'm not going to put it so much places, so in case it doesn't work or something like that. Okay, so I'm continuing. I wanted to put some more pink. So be careful with the blender because sometimes we just take all the personality because we just blend too much. So you need to have a balance between parts that are really totally blend and parts that are like kind of rough and that you can see even the brushes and everything. And it's going to affect a lot depending on your style too. But like I said, because a lot of people ask me what kind of process I use and everything for doing this, I just use these two brushes. I didn't use anymore. So I did most of it with these two brushes. Okay, so I'm just going for the eye and I'm going to check the time. And we are going to see 9:30 here in Bali. So I don't know, I'm going to continue a little bit more and just do a little bit more of this. And what I'm going to do is that I will continue in another session with this one, putting a little bit more of dark in here. Can you see that it's starting getting a little bit the idea? And I'm going to work deeply on this eye. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see, yeah, the eye is in there. I'm going to blur a little bit the eye. And I'm going to put where I can see more darker colors, like for example in here. And then at the top of the eye, like I say, that's a really good one just to do a shadow at the top of the drawing. So it's this part. Oops, too much. Let's just do a shadow. So even you can use so much more layers that I'm using. Like I'm explaining how I did this drawing, but the last ones I'm even using more layers. What I did is that I do the inside of the eye in another layer, totally separated, and then I can change the color of the eyes and I can have so much more control. So I'm taking a so much darker color and I'm doing this part so much darker, and I'm going to be just doing this eye with a few of the details that I can see. Just take a look that most of it is not pure black, it's more like browns and that, and a lot of things are quite lost, so you cannot even see them. And there are a lot of grays, so I'm going to, I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to put a little bit more of gray with this, go down, and I'm going to go in here. So yeah, this one it was more like when it's recorded, you are going to be able to just pass or go faster or anything, but just to see a little bit the effect or the how I do these ones. Okay, I'm trying to do a volume, so I'm working on these grays. So I'm putting shadows in here and a darker color here at the top. Ah, yeah, okay. So I have to use the brush, if not doesn't work. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do. So if at the top you do a kind of shadow, it's going to work really well. Okay, so I'm going to do that shadow. So I'm doing the shadow at the top of the eye with the gray, and I cannot avoid it. I'm going to do the details that are white, and can you see that they are not totally white, they are pink. So yeah, be careful with that. And try not to put white in places that they don't have it. So okay, so it's ignoring me, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to try to get this white. So I go here and done. No, ignoring me. Okay. So to do that, you don't want to use the airbrushing, or if you use it, you have to use it really thin and with a lot of opacity. And then here you go and put the magic, because these are the parts that they look like really, really nice. It's the part that is going to make more like the effect of the eye. And I'm going to put a little bit more in here and a little bit more in there. And the eyelashes, I don't do them until the end because they can give a lot of problems. So I'm going to continue with the eye. So I'm working it around the eye until I get this effect. So I'm going to do this smaller. Oops. And I'm going to keep working with this. Okay, so this was a little bit like the idea of the video. I'm not sure how long has passed already on the class because I started at 10. Oh, okay, so only 36 minutes, so I can continue. I'm going to just put here a little bit more darker, and in here a little bit with this. Too hard, so I have to lower the opacity to this bigger and then continue with this. So then continue with this one. I'm going to do this smaller. So to make this video super long, I will most probably continue exactly where we leave this one for another class. In next class, because you all have more time to take a look to the exercises and everything, I'm going to be correcting them. I was going to be doing it today, but I will wait for next class so more people can upload work. We have a Facebook group that is just for doing these exercises, and so you can see how other students that are doing it already, that are being sending me the exercises. So yeah, it's just to have a little bit of support to ask for doubts and everything, because yeah, in here it looks like so easy, but when one has to do it, it doesn't look as easy. And like I said, you don't need to do exactly the models that I'm doing. You don't need to do these ones. You can be doing your own characters, or I don't know, like if you want to do somebody that you love, that you are like trying to do a portrait or something like that. And I just wanted you to see the process of how to do all of this. And like I say, you can send me drawings that you want me to correct for the next live class. The next one is going to be a Zoom class where we are going to correct exercises. So it's going to be more private. It's going to be just for all of you that just, even if you didn't have any time, because hey, life happens, and if you didn't have any time to do any of the exercises but you just want to come, just come, because we are going to be just doing a little bit more about portrait in class and seeing exercises of other students and everything. So you're going to be able to get a lot of insights for your art. And well, it's so interesting to do this again, because I will start now putting more detail, and I can see that the eyes has more blue. So I will put a little bit more blue in here, and a little bit more blue in here, and then I see that has like a kind of light going across, like something like this that I like, and then like a kind of shiny part in there. Okay, so it's 39. I think that I'm going to do like 10 minutes more because I want to leave these eyes a little bit more finished. So I'm going to go for the black. And then I'm going to speak a little bit about what I wrote about learning how to do faces in 1 week. So I have a Pinterest account, and you can just find your own things. But what I will recommend you, like exercise, is use 1 day just to do, for example, just eyes in your sketchbook and do a lot of different eyes, or to do another day to do noses and another day to do like different things in your sketchbook just for practicing. And if you don't have time to do that, just choose 1 week, and each week just select one thing. And it's like, okay, so this week I'm going to do eyes, and maybe you're going to do only just like 3 eyes when you have time, but you're going to improve a lot. So we will be in the videos. You have already one that is for the lips. We are going to be doing each one. I improve a lot. Even it's like a good reminder, even if you have already level on drawing and it's not the first time doing this, it doesn't matter. It's just doing the exercise can help you a lot to improve your practice. So it doesn't matter really. Okay, and here I can see that there is even darker at the bottom. Okay, and okay. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit more of detail in here. So these other lines that are annoying me, that happens a lot, I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to go for the drawing. It's going to disappear later, I will use it. But I'm going to do the rest of the eye in here and some little details on there. So I'm coming in here. So the idea of this is just like, even you can paint with me, you can be painting your own, you can be trying to paint this at the same time, or you can just do another thing and just take a look to the videos or pass them kind of fast. But I thought that could be helpful just to see a little bit the process on how I did it and how I did the eyes and everything. And can you see all these flicks? They're pretty cool. I'm going to do it in another layer, and it's like, it's just doing like a lot of hair, and I don't mind if I didn't finish doing all of that, because it's in another layer, but it's just that it's going to give me a kind of taste of how it looks. So I did a lot of kind of lines to make like some of the hair like falling onto the top of the eye and everything. I think that looks like really nice. And I need to do kind of lighting in here, so I'm going to put a little bit more of lighting and more lighting in here. And I did this really loose, like it was not really, can you see that it's not quite even there? So I like doing that too. It's like, it's there but it's not there. I don't know if that has sense. But yeah. So okay, so I'm putting a little bit more transparency. I'm going to be sure that I'm not in the hair, but I'm doing in the eye, right here. And I will do the same with the other eye that I'm doing in here. Can you see that I'm putting greens, I'm putting blues, and I'm pretty sure that I was really creative with the original photo. I'm pretty sure that the blues are not there, maybe are just some. And yeah, so I think that with this I'm going to leave it like in this. Can you see the difference between one eye? But now it motivates me so much more to do the other eye. I'm going to finish the eyes and then I will give this like for finish. So I'm going to select the same brush but really thin, and I'm going to put here the mini hairs. And can you see that I'm not doing most of them, I'm just doing some. And I think that this is true, something that is a matter of your style, and you cannot do just sticks like that. You have to give them a little bit of life, so it's like a little bit like if one are looking one part and one's another. And then a lot of people doesn't do these lines, and I think that it gives a lot of expression under the eye. And I'm going to put a little bit more of darker in here. So it's in this part I'm going to put darker in here and darker there. And then the lashes that I did with this technique of doing kind of triangles, I'm going to do it a little bit longer. And now I'm doing everything like really close. I'm pretty sure that when I put it far away, maybe the eye is looking to the ground size or something, so I will check that later. Okay, and okay, and okay. So we'll be a little bit like this. That will look. Can you see that here there is a kind of apricot color? So I'm going to take that color that is quite beautiful. I'm going to put it in a soft blend or the same airbrush. I just didn't want it to use like too much brushes to confuse you. So I'm putting a little bit in here because that's going to light up the colors. It's going to look like really nice. So yeah, I'm going to leave it in there. So as you see, it takes time. I will be just doing the same with the second eye, and in another class I will be doing the nose. In the class that we are going to be doing noses, I'm going to speak about the nose, and I will record another video for doing that. But yeah, it's looking good, I think. Okay, so I'm going to finish with the live of today. I hope that has been helpful and that you can use some of these notes to do your own drawings. And like I said, I will put the link below for the Facebook group where you can upload your progress, and where I'm going to be speaking about why we did some exercises at the first class and everything. So have a really nice weekend, and I will see you in the next class. Bye! Bye everybody!